Bundy pinned his man one time. Pinned him again for a 5 count.
He told the referee keep counting to 5.
The fact of the matter is this: on the five-time WCW champion, now can you dig that?
Oh, what is up, Straight Talk Society? This is your host, Trevor, and I'm back with another episode of 5 Count. My 5 takeaways from tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw, the King of the Ring edition. And let me tell you something. I thought this was a really, really good to great Monday Night Raw. And coming off the heels of a fantastic Backlash show that we'll be talking about this Wednesday on Wrestling with Reality, I think they followed it up really, really great with this episode of Monday Night Raw tonight. Tonight was pure tournament matches. I mean, you had Sammy and Gable sprinkled in there, but nevertheless, let's get into my 5 takeaways from tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. Number 5. Oh my goodness, the injury bug has now hit WWE. Hey, it's not ballet. It is unfortunately the sad reality in wrestling that you do get hurt. And Drew McIntyre, who was supposed to wrestle Finn Balor tonight, was scratched because of an injury. He did have on a sleeve on his elbow, and CM Punk even later on said that he injured, that he's the one that injured Drew McIntyre's elbow. Me personally, I think is a work, just because, and I don't know, this is just me making this up. You know, I'm going to go to Fightful and see what Sean Ross Sapp says. But I think it's part of the storyline, just because if Drew's not going to win King of the Ring, then, you know, why have him in the tournament? Just give him more fodder to cry about. And then later on, what we're going to talk about, I think is going to fuel that a little bit more. Then we also found out tonight that Asuka, who was supposed to take on Laya Valkyria, which, man, I would have loved to see that match. She was scratched because of an injury that took place at the Backlash show. Sorry, I said yesterday, Saturday's Backlash show. So Asuka has an injury. We don't know what it is. Again, I'll tune in to Fightful and Dave Meltzer and all of those guys and see, you know, what they heard. And then, you know, we'll report it this Wednesday. So, you know, Seth Rollins out, Rhea Ripley's out. So the injuries are starting to pile up to some key players. So hopefully there's nothing too major with these guys. Seth Rollins definitely, because he just needs a break. I mean, this guy's been burning the candle at both ends. So hopefully they can come back bigger and better than ever. So my number 4 takeaway from tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. Oh, man, you see the play on words here. Finished. I hate to say it, man. Finn Balor, tremendous wrestler. Just re-signed with WWE. So it's safe to say that he's probably going to end his career with WWE. I don't know the length of his contract. He's 42 years old. Phenomenal shape. I wish I could be in that type of shape, but I'm getting there. Tremendous wrestler, but tonight he did lose to main event Jey Uso, which, okay, I get it, but I think Finn serves better winning and going on in the tournament just because he's been losing so much. And when you have a guy like Finn Balor who's going to always give you fantastic matches, you know, somebody could always say, oh, they could always heat him up. Man, you can't have this guy just eating pin after pin after pin after pin after pin. He has been losing. I need to look up his win-loss record because I bet it's awful. This guy has been eating so many pins, and I'm hoping that this isn't just his push down the card, because he's so great, man. Still great matches, great look. He does have the demon in his back pocket. Looks like they're about to break up Judgment Day soon, so he may get a renewed push, may feud with Priest for the title, for a few months. So we'll stay tuned to that and see what comes about that. My number 3 takeaway from tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw is, oh my goodness, main event matches, main event caliber matches. One of the King of the Ring qualifiers. I was going to do full transparency. I was going to do a live watch along to this Monday Night Raw tonight just because of 2 matches. This one and the next one I'm about to show you. When I saw that this was a first round match between Ricochet and Ilya Dragunov, I was like, holy shit, I got to do a live watch along for this. But I didn't. My daughter's not feeling good, so I couldn't do it. This match was phenomenal. Let me tell you something, I say phenomenal a lot, but if they run this match back on pay-per-view and give them about 20, 25 good minutes of no interruptions, this could be in the running for match of the year. This match was phenomenal, man. You had Poison Ranas. You had like Ricochet at one point hit a dive on every side of the ring, and oh my God, Ricochet did a flip from the top rope. Ilya Dragunov caught him, did an overhead suplex, face planted Ricochet, like completely friggin' slapped his face on the floor. I'm like, oh my goodness, this match was tremendous. And it ended with Ilya Dragunov doing the H-bomb from the top rope, and he came down and crushed Ricochet's face. This match was tremendous, man. And what it showed to me is that this King of the Ring means something. And it also showed me another thing, because there's a lot of no selling in this match. And Wednesday, we're going to talk about it in the Cody Rhodes AJ Styles match. I think WWE is finally starting to change their style, because, WWE's style has always been, somebody gets heat for a long time, you make a comeback, blah, 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 blah. These 2 guys were just going in there, beating the holy shit out of each other, having a match that what we expected Ricochet to have when they signed them all those years ago to NXT. And Ilya Dragunov is the man. He will be a world champion at some point. This guy, his intensity is just off the damn charts. And then the second match, so I got an honorable mention, and my apologies, I didn't get to put a picture up. Natalya versus Io Sky. Listen, I rag on Natalya a lot, but Natalya has been putting in that work. Natalya had a match against oh my God, what's the young lady from NXT? I forget her name, Lola Vice, and they had a fight pit match almost. Not a fight pit, but they took the ropes off and had kind of just like a street fight type of fight, and they beat the holy hell out of each other. Then Natalya comes back and has this match with Io Sky. Fantastic wrestling matches. Again, if you gave them 15, 20 minutes on the pay-per-view, they would, hell, you gave them 15, 20 minutes on that Backlash card, they'd have tore the house down. They would have blew the roof off the place. That match was so great. There was one funny spot, man, where I just had to put my hand in my head. Io Sky did a double foot stomp right on Natalya's implants, and I'm like, oh, jeez. Oh, I hope they don't pop. Like it's just me being a dick, but it was okay. It was crazy though. That match was phenomenal, man. Io Sky won. The right person won. Natalya at this point should be a lifer in the company, helping these young women get over it. She should have a job for as long as she wants it. She's still in tremendous shape, tremendous wrestler, and she's really a attribute to the company at this point. So my next match, we're still on number 3. Oh my goodness, Gunther versus Sheamus 4. Gunther versus Sheamus 3. So we know the 2 wars that they had at Clash of the Castle in 2022. Then they followed it up on SmackDown. And now here you have the rematch. This is going to be a reoccurring thing. Put this match on a pay-per-view. Give me 15 to 20 minutes on the pay-per-view. Gunther, this picture that you're looking at is Gunther's handprint on Sheamus's back. And it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt that Sheamus is so pasty. WWE posted a picture. His whole chest is completely destroyed. Gunther, y'all know Gunther's my wrestler of the year. Gunther is the man. These two beat the holy hell out of each other. I do like in this one, they worked the knee of Sheamus. Ludwig Kaiser, before he got ejected, did do some damage to Sheamus's knee, and that's what played into the finish. Gunther, again, should be moving on. I mean, that's it. From what we'll get to the brackets later, but from what it's shaping up to be is that we're going to get the rematch to one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. So my number 2 takeaway from tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw, man, the trolling continues. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. So I mentioned earlier, Drew McIntyre was supposed to be in the King of the Ring versus Finn Balor. And again, that's why I think this probably isn't a real injury, because why would they pit him against Finn Balor? Like, why would you put two heels against each other in the King of the Ring? I don't know. I guess. Well, you had two faces in Ilya Dragunov and Ricochet. So what do I know? So Drew McIntyre walks out to the ring and just stares a hole through Jay as he's pinning Finn. And then he goes to the back. He's telling Adam Pearce this is bullshit. I could have just taped it up. I'm a man. I'm not like CM Punk. I could fight through my injuries. Just steady throwing those jabs. He gets in his car, busting ass car, either a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. He drives off. And as he drives off, this nice ass old school muscle car pulls up. CM Punk gets out. So it's like, man, they're just like playing cat and mouse with each other. CM Punk says, I got something to say. He goes to the ring. He tears Drew a new asshole again. And then he's like, I'm not leaving the ring until you come out and fight. And, he's like, I get it. So the funny part, he told Pat McAfee, he said, hey, why don't you get on Twitter and at him? And Pat McAfee did it. And they posted the picture on WWE's Twitter of the view of Pat McAfee posting it on Twitter, man. That was great, man. WWE right now is on fire, man. They're doing shit that Vince McMahon would not do. These matches that they're having on Monday Night Raw, Vince would never let this happen. I mean, Poison Ranas. You had a friggin' burning hammer in the Cody versus AJ match. I mean, like this man, this is a renaissance completely in WWE, and I'm here for it, man, because wrestling is great when WWE is on fire, and they are on fire right now. So CM Punk looks in the camera. This is why I have this at number 2. CM Punk looks in the camera and he says, I guess I'll just have to see you at Clash of the Castle. I'm like, what? Now, the fact that CM Punk calls him out to the ring to fight, CM Punk's injury may be closer to being healed than we think. And there may be a strong possibility that at Clash of the Castle, you'll get CM Punk and Drew McIntyre in their first match in this new iteration, probably a street fight or something, and Drew gets that win in front of his home crowd. He would have to get the win and see him, but they could trade wins, until they blow it off, for the title or something. But this feud has been fantastic. So this is crazy. This is why I say promo and character development is so great, because you could put on 10-star matches, but if I don't care what you're talking about and I don't want to see you, then you're just getting in wrestling matches. These guys haven't touched each other but one time and twice, and this is like the hottest feud in the company. Like, it's just crazy. It's crazy. So my number 1 takeaway from tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw, what else would it be? The King of the Ring tournament, man. So let's get into these brackets. I don't have the updated men's brackets, but I do have the updated women's brackets. So they announced this earlier in the first round. Shayna Baszler and Zelina Vega will be taking place at a house show this week. So I love that they're making this King of the Ring tournament feel important. I wish the King of the Ring would be its own show, but I understand why not, because people get weirded out by tournaments. But they're making this tournament feel important because the matches, the way these guys are fighting for this spot, And now them putting this match, and then there's another match on the men's side on a house show, give you a reason to want to go see the house show because there's stakes involved. Hey, you add stakes to something, people love it. So then we also had Io Sky and Natalya, which I talked about. Io Sky advanced to that. You had Lyra Valkyria taking on Dakota Kai. That match suffered from just the crowd was just tired, and they were also waiting for Sheamus Gunther. So that match was put in the death spot there. But Lyra Valkyria did come out on top of there. And then you had Zoe Stark taking on Ivy Nile. I'm shocked that Zoe Stark would be the one to advance there, but Zoe Stark did come away with the win. So let's look away to next week. Assuming Shayna Baszler is going to win, you're going to get Io Sky versus Shayna Baszler. That should be great. Like that should be fantastic. You're going to get Lyra Valkyria versus Zoe Stark. Lyra Valkyria is going to win that. I see Io Sky. I see the finals on the Raw side being Io Sky taking on Lyra Valkyria, with Lyra Valkyria advancing to face the winner of the SmackDown side, which we don't know the brackets yet, so we'll get into that this Friday on 5 Count. Then for the men's side, you have Rey Mysterio versus Kofi Kingston. So that match is the one that they're going to do on a house show this weekend. Again, give it stakes, give it meaning. I think Kofi is going to advance in that. It's funny, Xavier Woods isn't on here. I think he has an injury or maybe a kayfabe injury, not sure. Drew McIntyre versus Finn Balor. Jey Uso took Drew McIntyre's place. Jey Uso did come away with that win. And then the fantastic match, Ilya Dragunov versus Ricochet. Dragunov won that. And then in the main event, you had Sheamus versus Gunther, where Gunther did come away with that. So let's play a little fantasy booker here. I got Gunther's advance. I got Gunther versus Cody. And I hope we get Gunther versus Cody soon. I got Gunther versus Kofi. And then you have Ilya Dragunov taking on Jey Uso. Ilya Dragunov should beat Jey Uso, and then we get the rematch of what I thought was one of the greatest matches ever during the COVID era. Walter at the time, but Gunther against Ilya Dragunov. And I think Gunther is going to advance for the Raw side. So the tournament's shaping up really good, man. Great first round. Hey, kudos to WWE, man. Kudos to Triple H righting all Vince McMahon's wrongs, and there's a bunch of them. Is he hitting on everything perfect? No, he's not. Stay tuned to Wednesday because I am going to eviscerate the women's tag team title match from Backlash. But guess what? With all that being said, those are my 5 takeaways from tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. Peace.